Here at PAX, we're showing Ratchet and Clank Future: A Crack in Time. This is the latest installment of the Ratchet and Clank series. It's picking up where Ratchet and Clank Future Quest for Booty left off, where Clank has been captured by the Zoni, and now Ratchet is searching for his best friend. We're tuning the game, we're polishing it. It's a huge game, so we're just kind of fine-tuning every little piece, making sure that the presentation elements, the gameplay difficulty is at the right level, and just making sure that it's got that layer of polish that every Ratchet and Clank game's had in the past. I think one thing that people have always loved about the Ratchet and Clank games is a level of variety, and that's something that we're really offering in A Crack in Time. We see the game from two different perspectives. There's Ratchet's journey with Captain Quark to find his best friend Clank, and then we also have Clank, who's been captured at a location called the Great Clock, where he is trying to figure out his connection with time and with the Zoni. And that's where we are offering a new type of gameplay called multiple selves, where Clank can create multiple versions of himself. He can record his actions, play those actions back, and solve puzzles. So he can stand on two buttons at once. He can lower an elevator for another self to get him up to a higher elevation. There's a lot of really cool time gameplay that we've never seen before. There were a lot of inspirations for the Clank time gameplay. We looked at a lot of older indie games, like Braid or Chronotron, and just kind of use that as inspiration to see how we could develop time gameplay. The trick was that we wanted to make the gameplay very accessible. We didn't want to keep it too cerebral and hurt people's brains. So that was one of the biggest challenges, was how do you make it intuitive yet interesting and layered enough so we have that level of depth without making people's heads explode. With A Crack in Time being our 7th game, we do find it a bit challenging with each new game we make to try to top ourselves. At some point we feel like we've become our own worst competition. It's like, wow, that last game had this huge arsenal, we had this cool upgrade system, we had all this variety, how do we top that? Well, what we do is we oftentimes build off of the experience of previous games, and there's a lot of things that we look at, and even though it looks great, we didn't ever feel like we quite got it right. But there's also just new opportunities. This is a very vast and I guess elastic kind of universe. We're really venturing into a more story-driven adventure. Ratchet and Clank was a platformer 7 or 8 years ago, actually 7 years ago, and that was where we focused more on the platforming elements and keeping it sort of more of a mascot style game. But now we're delving more into who is Ratchet, who are the characters he's interacting with, and how do we make this CG animated experience that feels like a movie. At Insomniac Games, we're always looking at new technology to improve our games. So motion control is certainly one of them. That's something that's still fairly early in development, but we're very excited about the number of possibilities and where that can take gaming in general. Ratchet and Clank Future: A Crack in Time will come out October 27th, only on the PlayStation 3.
Ratchet and Clank Future: A Crack in Time.
You win again, technology!